This is the road to 2019, tracking every single twist on the path to that big general election next year. Every week we tell you what's good for the government, bad for the government, what's happening in alliances, what the major events have been, and what signals we might derive from them for the general elections next year. So today, let's first quickly take you some of the good news. And actually, there was a lot of good news today. GDP growth 8.2%. India's fastest growing economy. Manufacturing growth has surged from minus 1.8% to 13%. Potentially, all of that could also mean a big boost for jobs. So that's the good news on the economic front, coming at just the right time. And perhaps it's also will be a boost for the government because there's also been a lot of talk about the rupee. So on the bad news side, rupee closing at an all-time low. It's a further slide may well be expected. Oil prices also continuing to rise and jumping very, very sharply. Fiscal deficit, all of those questions are continuing to come up if oil prices remain where they are. Also, there's been a lot of political turmoil over this entire question of the mass arrest of a certain number of activists and an entire debate that's been raging over urban Naxals and who are they and is this a crushing of dissent? And we will be discussing that a short while. Couple of other developments. Shivpal quitting, is that good for Akhilesh or bad for Akhilesh? Anybody's question, and anybody can really question that. Rahul Gandhi about to be leaving for a Kailash Yatra. Is that soft in the throat? The BJP is also coming to question that. In the DMK, by the way, one other quick question that we should touch on. DMK, Aragiri making a U-turn and saying he's willing to work with Stalin. So those are just some of the major points that we need to be thinking and we need to be looking at. Joining us on the program to help us understand some of what we spoke about and then also broader questions. It's great to have with us the Kendra Panwar, leader of the CPIM, with so much talk happening, going on about urban Naxals and the rest and what's happening to the left. We will also be asking you whether the left is still a major player. Raghav Avasthi is joining us, member of the RSS. Great to have you with us. Niranjan Mukhopadhyay, journalist, author. Our friend Pradeep Bhandari, who's been joining us in virtually every episode of the Road to 2019, helping us with some of the analysis, some of the data, and helping us to understand exactly what's happening. Sandeep Singh joining us from Mumbai. It's great to have you as well. And a little later in the program, we're going to be joined by Abhishek Manu Singhvi, who's one of the petitioners who's been really talking a lot about these arrests and what they possibly could mean. Right, before I come to any of that, let me just again start playing for you the good news and the bad news and what all of us make of it. One by one. Raghav, why don't you start? Those economy numbers, clearly very good. The rupee sliding, I guess some people could say that the rupee is sliding across a lot of Southeast Asia, also the Indonesian rupiah and the rest of it. So is it a good economic picture, bad economic picture, mixed economic picture?
I think it's a great economic picture. If the economy has grown 8.2% in the last quarter, I mean, I'm sure that the colleagues in the Congress would then shift the goalpost.
Sometimes that also happens if your last quarter was not that great.
Would then shift the goalpost. The last quarter was actually not all that bad. I think there is a good possibility that people from the CPM or the Congress would now shift the goalpost and start saying that these numbers don't make any difference. But I don't think the people are going to buy this. And it is a good thing, especially I am really enthused by the numbers as far as the manufacturing sector is concerned. 13% is a whopping figure, and I am pretty sure that
that's one area where the base effect might work.
If this momentum continues, then I am pretty sure that Narendra Modi ji will be, he'll have a second term in office, most definitely. And
we are spending every Friday 1 hour, 9:30 to 10:30 trying to sort that out, and there you have it. Raghav Avasthi has already ruled. Wait, some log ghar jao, koi problem nahi hai. Modi ji aa rahe. I'm sorry. I'm going to analyze it every Friday night till the elections, and then we'll see what actually happens at the end of it. You may well be right, but then hey, you may well be wrong as well. We'll find out.
If I were a gambling man, that's what I would put my money on.
Okay. If you're a gambling man, you'd put your money in it. I don't have to ask you. But I think even Tekendra, if he's not a gambling man, but if he was, he would probably say it's not going to be a CPM government, but it could be somebody else. But Tekendra, before I come to how the left is doing, the numbers that we are seeing right now in GDP, Good, bad, encouraging?
Yeah, I mean, as my friend said, I mean, it's actually how do you put the goalpost? I mean, if your quarter is too bad, I mean, you had a negative growth in manufacturing, then all of a sudden you say it's 13%. So you can actually calculate where you exactly are placed. But I think for me, that is not very important at the moment because, and you know, Vikram, what is very important is the strength and the weakness of BJP is the same thing. And that is how good they are able to polarize the people, because they jolly well know, especially on three important economic parameters, the GST, the demonetization, and if you go back to the demonetization, sorry, okay, yeah. If you go back to the demonetization era, I mean, what was your RBI saying? What was the Niti Aayog saying? The 10% of, and now it's 99.3% back.
Actually, I should have added that to bad news.
So what is there?
In my list of bad news, I should have added that because evidence now the demonetization didn't work.
And you know, in 15 million people have lost their jobs, and it's huge. I mean, if you just go to Chandni Chowk, you'll find the biggest wholesale market. I mean, there were, since I'm a cyclist, I cycle around in Delhi, I can tell you, there were 2005.
How are your lungs doing? You
yeah.
should be careful about cycling around in Delhi, especially once November, right?
There were 2,000, yeah, there's not Shimla, yeah, but that's the movement we're trying to build here as well. 2,500 cycle traders, mind my words, there's just 500 left. Those who had a turnover of almost 80 crores, 90 crores are down now with 30 crores. I mean, it's not hidden fact. The BJP knows jolly well better than us. I mean, better than the CPM, I would say. So that is why the goalposts are being shifted. And it is
the BJP knows more about the economy than the CPM
because they
actually true.
Yeah, because what they did was a deliberate attempt. It is not that it was
accidental. So demonetization, fine, I should have added demonetization. Now, can I just ask you, look, he's got a thesis, and that thesis may well be a thesis that many people are talking about. There's not much to say about the economy. The economy is in a bad shape. Rupee is sliding. What about demonetization? Now there's evidence that demonetization didn't work. Blah, 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 all of those things. And as a result of that, we're going to see other things because the government can't really talk about the economy. That, Niranjan, could change if this quarter, a couple of other quarters come, monsoon comes, agricultural growth up. Suddenly there will be an economic story that the government could talk about. It doesn't have to only rely on other things.
You know, Vikram, seeing 3.5 decades of elections, you know, right from the mid-80s, I do not think that there has ever been an occasion where people have got enthused by statistics. The mood of the nation is not set by figures. The mood of the nation is set by either the happiness or the contentment or the frustration which is there in the street. You walk around, the stories are not going to come from the galleries or the places from where we are getting the data. But the frustration of the people, you know, Tikendra rightly pointed out joblessness. People are only asking, where are jobs?
So, can I just take you up? In fact, let me have a rider to that point which you just made. If you are saying people are not going to vote on the basis of statistics, right, and it's more an emotional thing, that is one area where demonetization, I'm not that sure whether it will be an election tool anymore. By the time 2019 comes, there is statistics, and the opposition has spent all week long saying, look at demonetization, it's been proven to be a disaster, but it's a statistic, and by now people may well have forgotten about it.
Historically in India, just a second. Yeah. Historically in India, it is always, elections are always more difficult for incumbents. There has been only, in several decades after Nehru, you know, let's not talk, there has been only Manmohan Singh who has actually been able to win a second term on the basis of performance. Vajpayee, if we go back 98 and 99, was really not an improvement on what they had won in 98. 182 seats and 182
why is that not
seats.
True? I'll tell you why it's not true. Because between 98 and 99, he is saying that there was an accretion of only 1 seat. But the point is that the BJP stitched alliances nationwide, and the number of seats it contested actually went down.
Great alliance management. He's saying,
but the number of seats in UP crashed from 57 to about 30.
But he bucked anti-incumbency in the rest of the country, Nilanjan ji. He bucked anti-incumbency in the rest of the country.
Sandeep, let me just get you in on this point. Look, you know, when you're looking at all the numbers, so first of all, let's have a basic question. Is the 2019 election or any other election going to be, in this case, fought on the basis of how the economy is doing? Is it about the economy? And as was just said, is it about the statistics, or is it about the gut feeling that people are going to have?
Yeah, I agree with Nilanjan ji. You know, the economy, the elections are not fought based on statistic or economics. The issue is that how a person is feeling. And we have been talking about jobs. Let me tell you, over the last 4 or 5 years, that number of people who will approach me I might be only one person in a sample size, but has gone down drastically. I keep meeting people who are saying that yes, we need people, we are expanding fast, we need more number of engineers, we need more number of CAs. So I haven't met the other way, somebody saying, you know, I'm looking for people, I am not finding people. So I think economy is taking a turn. More and more job opportunities are coming up, and I haven't met people apart from, you know, apart from politicians who saying that there is a problem of
Okay,
job.
that's okay. So, but here's what happens. So, okay, you can say GDP numbers, joblessness obviously is going to be a big factor. What about those other statistics that we are seeing scrolling on the bottom of the screen? Fuel prices and the slide of the rupee. Now, the slide of the rupee, the governments will say, but frankly, the UPA kept on saying it earlier. You know, the slide of the rupee is not necessarily because of good or bad management by the government, but people don't listen to that. They say, yeah, bhai, dekho, rupee has gone down to, including the present Prime Minister was at that time frequently tweeting, saying, look what's happening to the rupee, and others were doing the same. So, at the end of the day, that fuel price number and the rupee number, is that something which is more emotional or equally emotional?
Fuel price will definitely be an issue. If it goes up or it remains at this price, it's going to hurt people. But over a period, what we have noticed is that people understand that if something good is happening in the country, then they are willing to sacrifice for it. The way we saw it in demonetization, though a lot of issues were made, the government BJP went on winning elections. The biggest example was UP state elections. So demonetization has not been an issue.
Wait, hang on. Now I have to ask you this question. Now I have to ask you this question. Can you please, because we've all struggled, I mean, look, I'm happy to hear whatever you're saying about the GDP growth and Startup India and Swachh India and the rest of it. Can you please tell me what was good? At the end of the day, we've now studied this for 2 years, and I'm saying it may not be a major factor in the next election because a lot of time has elapsed. But what was good about demonetization? Can you tell me 3 major benefits that the nation got from demonetization? Even one big benefit.
The Naxal incidents went down.
Naxal
the second, the
incidents,
Kashmir issue, we saw less.
If the Pune police is to be believed, there are Naxals all over the place. Your own people are drawing up. There are people drawing up lists that every second person an urban Naxal right now.
So there are no Naxal violence.
Went
If
down,
you look,
that's one.
the number of states where Naxal infected has gone down to 36. Earlier it was 86. So what police is arresting, it will wipe out the Naxal problem from the
city is
country.
infested with urban Naxals. So they've obviously all gone from there to come here somewhere.
Can I just?
And I'm going to come to the urban Naxals.
Obviously, but the government is just being proactive. So that is not an issue
But if
at
you are
all.
smoking them out of hideouts, then demonetization has nothing to do with it.
Because no, I'll tell you. Can I answer this if Sandeep ji is done?
Yeah, okay, Sandeep ji may be done, you can come to it then.
At the end of the day, as Sandeep ji very rightly pointed out, the proof of the pudding lies in the eating. If there is such widespread discontent over demonetization, GST and whatnot, why is it that the BJP's stellar run when it comes to Vidhan Sabha elections continues unabated? It should have stopped. Right? Why is this not stopping? Because at the end of the day, this demonetization,
I'm waiting for somebody.
Stop logging the dead.
So you're saying demonetization is successful because the BJP won elections because of it. Is that what you're saying?
The proof of the pudding and the people are happy, right? I mean, economists can argue. I'm not an economist. I think neither are you trained as an economist. None of us is, I think.
Excuse me, I am actually.
Okay, actually. Never mind. So the point is this. Economists can argue about it till the cows come home, and you'll get arguments on both sides, but the public is
the argument that it is a good thing because you win elections because of it is not necessarily proved. Pradeep, give me data to say that demonetization was good.
See, for me, demonetization was a step. I will not look at demonetization in isolation. I would look at demonetization as one of the steps which is try to do a cultural shift in the complete way the system works, right? So now demonetization basically was a way of changing a behavior of the individual in order to get the individual into formal banking system. Now when the individual comes in the formal banking system, the chances of corruption reduces. Now if you see one of the biggest, so there are 2 principal points of corruption. One is the income tax chori, as you call it in Hindi. Now you have the income tax, the number of people complying to the income tax increased by 80%. Now the other part is the real estate sector, right? That is where a lot of illegitimate wealth is created. Now in the real estate sector. You see the property prices today, it is historically the lowest. Even in the last 3 months, it dropped by 7%. You made the Aadhaar and the PAN compulsory on that front. So the impact of cash as an illegitimate means in real estate has come down. Now with people depositing money, I have a counter. See, it is obvious that once you have money in circulation, that would come, that would be deposited in the bank. Money deposited in the bank does not make demonetization a failed step, because there are 18 lakh accounts which are being investigated where the money deposited was not proportionate to the income. So that is my substantiation.
I've heard 3 arguments.
So the cost of it was the short-term supply
I'm trying to keep this going. So I've heard
which I agree with you.
I've heard 3 reasons. I've heard 3 reasons. Reason 1, it did something about Naxalites. Number 2, BJP won election. Number 3, increased formalization in the economy.
Vikram, just a 5-second point on the fuel prices. See, all these steps can affect the voting behavior, provided the disposable income in the hand of the individual is actually reduced. So, if मेरे पास आज कम पैसा है, मैं spend नहीं कर पा रहा हूँ, and 70 rupees for me is huge, then for me fuel will be something which will be a very big problem. So how will you see that? I want to see, protest on the roads. Is the middle class protesting on the road? Is the opposition taking it as an issue? I don't see all of that happening, right?
Okay. I just want to make a very small point in response to what is being said, that the parallel economy has completely disappeared. We've all heard about the great Indian Jugaad. Mark my words, 2 years down the line, we'll be talking about the great financial Indian Jugaad. I can tell you at least 10 different new ways by which people have actually been able to find out ways by which you can continue to do what we all call indulgent blackness.
That's being cynical.
Let him speak.
People have found new ways, and they found it right from a day after demonetization.
Okay.
We all talked about this, how people were identified and paid commissions to deposit money in banks. We all know, it was documented by the media, that people were paid money to deposit in various accounts and how it got siphoned off. Data which is there in the RBI, which shows that the amount of money which was there in circulation has actually all come back into the banking system.
That's not Vikram, please.
Yeah.
So just, I think you will make a substantiation which will add on to it. I want to make just a small counterpoint. See, Vikram, he's saying that there are possibilities in which people can find the so-called
Not
jugaad.
Possibilities. See, there are ways which have also happened.
Let me complete.
We cannot. See, I'm saying that I did not say possibility.
Okay, so
I said
I want to see data. Please tell me that how are people looting? Please tell me, and if you have that, please give me a data which shows that these are the 5 ways in which the illegitimate cash is going in X, Y, Z manner. What I'm trying to say is that in the indirect
no
means
illegitimate cash anymore?
That's what he's saying, right? He's saying that 10 possibilities have come up through which people are finding ways of jugaad and are still corrupt. So please tell me that. I want to know that.
I'll tell you off camera.
Okay, he'll tell you off camera.
I wanted to make a substantiation point.
Let me just hear from him from his cycling excursions to Chandni Chowk.
I want to make a very substantive point. Mere depositing the money in the bank does not mean that it is something which is wrong.
We heard you. Let me get somebody else to speak.
I think it is the biggest fraud where an impeachment should have been brought against the Prime Minister had it been somewhere else in the West. I'll tell you why. Just go back to the contentions.
We don't live in Mao's China. We've established yesterday.
I'm coming to what's Mao's China in a couple of minutes.
Your Prime Minister went there to see the mausoleum of Mao.
You're a Maoist. You admitted that yesterday on one of the rival channels.
The Prime Minister went there. Anyway, just go back to the contentions. I mean, one of the contention was that you'll completely eradicate the black money. Your entire currency is back. Where is the black money? And now you have the RBI data, what my counterpart was saying. You have the RBI data that the fake 50 rupee notes, fake 100 rupee notes, and now because of 2000, fake 2000 rupee notes have actually proliferated in the market. So where have you unearthed the black money? Number 3, I think what is also important is that, who has gained out of demonetization? Don't forget that. It is the BJP. I mean, all the cooperative banks that the BJP was running was flooded with all the deposits that has happened. Not just that. I mean, the largest beneficiary has been the Paytm. And you force the people to link with the banks, and then because of A, B, C, D, E, all those issues that you raised, you extracted some 2,000 crores from the poor people. I mean, what was the purpose? And then you said you'll have a chip on 2,000 rupee note, and that chip
all
will.
that
I
the government didn't say that they are
Yeah, I mean, all those arguments were
fine
there.
that the policy
And
of
then you said,
demonetization was designed for a Paytm. I thought yesterday somebody was saying for Amazon.
not just
come on,
Paytm.
yeah, come on, like how? Please, this
It's
is
huge
this is
phenomenon. Not just Paytm, sir. Not just Paytm.
Please.
It's
The digital transactions
it's
have
now
gone up. In fact, I'll tell you on facts, the digital transactions,
how much has
the
it gone up?
percentage before
What
and after
percentage?
demonetization
What
has not
percentage?
been a
It
huge
went up
difference.
What
just
was-
for a
why
month
should
or
that
so,
difference
Can
be?
you
and then it
prove me that
started
Paytm
dipping.
is being the
You
beneficiary
see
of
the
because of
you see
demonetization?
the same 100 rupee note,
Yeah,
if
I
it
have
gets
to reply
circulated,
to this, I'm
it
sorry.
generates more
Look at it
employment.
as a system.
You can all reply to it one by
Look
one.
at it
You
as
can
a
all
system.
reply to it one by
You
one.
see,
In the meantime,
This is actually an
relatives of
infantile
policemen
argument
kidnapped
on the
people
own
being
a
released.
member of a
the
national
argument-
political party.
See, the point is actually demonetize. The BJP realizes it jolly well that what they wanted to what they wanted to prove after demonetization, they have not been able to.
Can I?
So
I'm just pausing.
Just a second.
How?
I'm
Just a
asking
second.
all
How?
of you one
Just a second.
question. I'm asking all of you one question. And
200
I'm
people
trying to get
died.
into.
I mean, it's ridiculous.
I'm trying to get into the
200 people
the
died.
raids and urban Naxal.
Chairman Mao killed more people than that. You guys killed more people in Marine.
And
What
how
is
many
the
you
objection?
killed?
You
See,
guys
no,
massacred
Vikram,
more
how many
people in
you
Marine
killed in
Jabi.
Gujarat?
So don't
How many you
talk about
killed in
death
Gujarat?
tolls.
Why
And
was
your
this
hero
China
Chairman
for
Mao
a
killed a
moment?
lot
I'm
of people.
slightly lost. I'm asking, but all of you, one by one. Sandeep, demonetization, is it going to be an electoral issue at all? Yes or no?
Two things. Yes, it will be an issue, and definitely it's a strong point for BJP. We did it, and it has benefited people. And just second point, today I saw a tweet that the Communist Party in Kerala accepting a check from Adani, Ambani. So I wonder that
Not
what
the Communist
happens to
Party,
them when
it's a
they have
relief
to
fund.
accept money from them. Otherwise, they are very anti-capitalist class.
Do you have any problem in? I mean, so for a relief fund, you
For a
have.
relief fund, I mean, it's the government of Kerala, not the
So
Communist
that
Party
money
of Kerala.
becomes good then.
I mean, you should understand. I mean, you should at least distinguish between the government of Kerala and the
So
Communist
Who
Party.
runs the
So the-
government ticket?
Yeah,
But
so the
but
money
Congress
comes to
already run the
the, if the
government.
money comes to the
Sandeep,
becomes good.
let's be fair out here.
Governments
your
are not
party
parties.
Sandeep, let's
The
be fair out
problem is
here.
that the problem is
If
that
it's
His
a-
party
if
has
it's a
always
CPM
obligated to
government,
India. That's the point I'm
and
trying to
vice
make.
versa.
Nilanjan,
That's
that's
the
the
basic
point I'm
problem.
trying to make. I'm making a sarcastic
Peace.
point.
I spent
I think you're
6
getting
hours
caught in
last
your own
Sunday
sarcasm.
trying to do my bit to raise funds for for the people who are affected by the floods in Kerala. So I have to ask you this question: if corporates are providing money
good.
to help poor people or rich people for that matter affected by floods in Kerala, what do you expect in the Kerala government to do?
but
To say no, we don't want the money.
That is their.
But
that
then
is
they
their-
should not make an anti-corporate
No,
mindset.
so
that corporate
it looks
is
hilarious
bad.
that when the same
See,
time, on
don't
the
forget,
same day they come
they're
on
not
the
a large
channel
chunk of
and abuse the
contribution comes from the
capitalists.
common people.
One
It
at a
looks
time.
funny.
I mean, the large chunk of the contribution
And
comes from the
that
common
is where
people.
they
Don't
lose the
forget that.
credibility part.
I mean, everyone has a.
Okay.
I mean, you're at a national disaster also is being compartmentalized into corporate and
That's what
anti-corporate.
the
What
Communist
is
Party
this?
did initially.
See,
That's
that
what
is
the
what I'm
Communist
trying
Party
to say,
did
that cycle is
when it
wrong.
spread the
That
absolute
way of
canard
looking
You did
about
that.
the
wrong.
UAE
Okay.
offering 700 crores and that offer being rejected by the
Vikram,
Narendra Modi
for
government.
once-
This is
talking
what
about
these
an
guys started
economic
off.
argument.
I have
And
three
I'm
really
just-
articulate and very vociferous people
Why should you reject
opposed
that?
to the Communist Party. So I'm going to just ask you guys to to bear with me for 2 seconds because I don't want to
it's
shift focus.
ridiculous.
I don't want to shift focus a little bit. Yeah.
Yeah,
Why is
a
it?
I
disaster.
still haven't understood why it's wrong for them to accept money from
disaster.
the
That's
for the
fine, they
flood.
can, obviously, for sure, but they should not make these bizarre comments that Paytm is, the demonetization
Yes.
was done for
No,
Amazon
but
and
it's not a bizarre
Paytm. Are
comment.
you telling me that Amazon,
it's
which
not
came
a
in
bizarre-
2013, needs
It's a bizarre
demonetization
comment.
to go in the
It's-
Indian market?
okay.
So many small and
For
medium
heaven's
enterprises
sake,
in this country
it's
are on that
it's a
platform.
bizarre
sir.
comment.
So many small and medium enterprises are there.
Please
Please
read.
prove me that.
Please read what Piketty is saying. He says,
I've
if
read
you,
Piketty.
if
Come on,
if
I've also read
employment,
Piketty.
if employment is not addressed in India, the
Sir,
case of India is
That
gone. You
argument
should
would
know
have
that.
worked when the short-term
come
supply
on. I mean-
disruption was there by demonetization. After 2 years, you can't make
Can I-
the same argument which you were making in 2016.
Gentlemen.
I mean,
Just a
that's
second,
still
just a
continuing.
second.
argument.
Just look at the statistics.
There is a social discontent. People should be out in the street.
Nilanjan,
People are
is there
out.
social
People should be
discontent?
out in the
You
streets.
know
I'm
that.
trying to get Nilanjan in,
Like
he's
in
the only one not
Venezuela.
butting in.
He knows
Like
better than
in
me.
Venezuela.
Actually, the
People should
RSS
be out
knows
in the
better than
streets.
me.
One at a
Why are
time,
the
please.
people not out
Nilanjan,
in the
say
streets?
something.
Why are people not
You
out?
see,
I
that-
think
that-
I'll try and
winning
reduce
election
everyone else
after
and
election.
Nilanjan can speak.
Actually, no,
I'll
just
talk
I
with-
think, sir, wait, just a second. Tikendra,
You guys
I
know-
don't know what you've been smoking.
you
You
go-
seem to be living in your own
I don't smoke, by the way.
paradise.
No,
I
the
don't
point-
know what you must be some strong substance.
See, the point is they
Because
know
I don't see
jolly
any
well,
protests.
and that's what I
Have
said
you seen protests?
at the inception. I said
Outside the CPM office.
No, you
Okay.
no,
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 no.
I've been hearing,
See-
since November 2016 that demonetization has been greatly appreciated by people. You go and ask people, Mr. Jaitley must be credited, if not for anything, at least introducing one term in Indian political lexicon, that is anecdotal evidence. So everybody is talking about anecdotal evidence. Sandeep is talking about his anecdotal evidence. I am going to talk about my anecdotal evidence. We'll all get to know whose anecdotal evidence is possible.
There is clear
closer.
statistical evidence.
Just a
that
second,
the-
Raghav.
Okay, no anecdotal evidence.
So let's
There
not
is
talk about
substantial
it.
evidence
Let's
of
not talk
anecdotal
about it.
evidence.
Let BJP make it as a
Data
national issue.
shows
Pradeep,
that
Raghav,
Sandeep,
why do you want the
Nilanjan.
BJP to flog the same issue?
data has
Now we
that-
will talk
I'm taking a
about
break.
our Naxals
Has
this
that
time. What's your
disgruntled
problem?
Data shows that
Has
the
that
entire money which was
frustration
there
of
in the
demonetization
circulation
been
has all
reflected
been
in terms of
deposited,
voting
and the
behavior?
government
No,
of
so
India has
people
not yet been
accepted
able
that,
to
right?
establish
No.
that
Yes,
anybody
how
else
can you
I'll
prove that people
put
did
back
not?
I
their
have never
black money, and no
thought that a
prosecutions have been
debate
started
on
yet.
the economics is going to make this sound like one of the other channels which I will care not to name right now, but we are heading that way, so I'm going to take a break right now. What I would like to come back to is to look at another issue which has been happening, a range of arrests, raids, what's happening. Abhishek Singhvi joining us, been one of the petitioners. We'll also be hearing from Susan, who's and from a number of others when we come back after this break. Don't go away. Right, you're watching Road to 2019. We've been taking a look at all the ups and downs on the economy. Lots of ups today with the GDP numbers rising, but at the same time, Rupee crashing and fuel prices up, and of course, the entire aftermath of demonetization. So we've spent a lot of time heatedly arguing about whether that's good or bad. Now, the other subject that has really got a lot of people talking over this week was the arrest of those 5 activists who were then described as affiliated and linked to the Naxal movement. It's created a major storm. The Supreme Court obviously is going to come out and say something about that. 6th of September, they are now under house arrest. It's been called, and it's really become a major issue because a lot of activists and others came out, press people, media, India and abroad, saying that this is the crushing of dissent and this is something we're going to keep on seeing in the build-up to 2019. Now, the Pune police comes out today and says, we did have evidence and we have evidence against them. And, well, let's just hear. This is what the Pune police had to say today.
बहुत सारे हजारों डॉक्यूमेंट्स हमको प्राप्त हुए हैं इन सर्चेस के दौरान। एक लेटर है जो कि श्री रोना विल्सन ने लिखी है कॉमरेड प्रकाश को, एंड रिक्वायरमेंट ऑफ 8 करोड़ फॉर एनुअल सप्लाई ऑफ M4s। M4 इज अ ग्रेनेड लॉन्चर विद 4 लाख राउंड्स। सक्रिय रूप से इंटीरियर के कामों में जानकारी तथा आर्थिक मदद पहुंचाने के लिए इसका काम मैं स्वयं देख रही हूं। इसके लिए मैंने संगठन के ऐसे एडवोकेट से मैं संपर्क में हूं। कश्मीर के अलगाववादियों से कॉमरेड अंकित और कॉमरेड गौतम नवलखा ये संपर्क में हैं। आप इस बारे में हुए विश्वास को बनाए रखने में कामयाब नहीं हुए, जिससे हमारे अर्बन काडर में टूट का खतरा महसूस हो रहा है। आपको इसके लिए नोटबंदी के दौरान लाखों रुपए की फंडिंग दी जा चुकी है, जिसमें हम गढ़चिरौली और बस्तर में अपनी जितना फंड उपलब्ध करवाना था वह नहीं कराया। इस बातों से संगठन में आपको लेकर नाराजगी का वातावरण है। मैं आपको बताना चाहता हूं कि नोटबंदी की वजह से दुश्मनों द्वारा सड़क तथा रेल मार्ग की जा रही चेकिंग के चलते हम गढ़चिरौली और छत्तीसगढ़ के कॉमरेडों को समय पर फंड उपलब्ध नहीं करा पाए। इसमें मेरा कोई गलत इरादा नहीं था। अभी पिछले 7-8 दिनों में मैंने उन्हें फंडिंग भेजना शुरू कर दिया है। द भीमा कोरेगांव एजिटेशन हैज बीन वेरी इफेक्टिव। द अनफॉर्चुनेट डेथ ऑफ अ यूथ मस्ट बी एक्सप्लॉइटेड to prepare future agitations and propaganda material. Please explore the possibility of new fact-finding to further highlight the incident. Comrade Kisan and few other comrades have proposed concrete steps to end Modi Raj. We are thinking along the lines of another Rajiv Gandhi type incident.
All right, so lots of statements being read out there by the Pune police. Now, I guess the courts have to really take one major decision. Do any of those documents or letters directly imply or implicate the people who actually have been arrested, and to what extent is it evidence? I guess the courts are going to take a look at that. Abhishek Manu Singhvi joining us now, somebody who's a very senior lawyer, been in the courts arguing this exact matter. Just wanted to understand, Dr. Singhvi, what actually is going to be happening next in this case, and what are going to be the next steps?
Well, Vikram, I don't think I should speak on the merits because it's a sub judice matter and I'm appearing as a counsel. All I can say is I can sketch out the contentions for you. It's ultimately for the court to decide, and I want to keep it in words of studied moderation. But I want to just sketch out 5 facets or 3 or 4 facets for you. One, the nature of the petitioners. They're all well-known public intellectuals, Romila Thapar, Maya Daruwala, Prabhat Patnaik. They have certain philosophies and ideologies, but they're eminent intellectuals, writers, authors. Second facet, who are these arrestees? Now, I personally don't agree with the views of many of them, Vikram. For example, I don't agree with Navlakha's views. I don't agree with Varaka Rao's views on Kashmir. But they are also in their own right highly educated people. An IIT PhD, an IIT professor, a US citizen who left her citizenship and joined India in the early teens to work in tribal areas. Now you have deviant philosophies, you have different ways of doing social work. You sometimes have very strong philosophy and strong words as well. Varakara Rao is known in the South as a very eminent poet, but he calls himself a revolutionary poet, and you would find some of his lines, if you were to take it literally, as a call for sedition. But the point which we are missing, Vikram, is that unless and until there is concrete proof of overt acts, such philosophies, ideologies, views, convictions are not culpable under any part of Indian law. Thirdly, this is an FIR about Bhima Koregaon. That FIR you just read, it's a 2-3 page Marathi written FIR which we have an English copy of. It doesn't name any of these people. Admittedly, none of them were present. The people who organized and were present included 2 retired judges, one of the Supreme Court, one of the High Court. These people 9 months later have been arrested. I am not at all talking of not interrogating, investigating. We all are subject to the rule of law. But why should you go after them in one fine morning and swoop down as if they are common criminals and arrest them? We have got no explanation. And one more point, Vikram, before you ask me the next question. There is a complete mix-up for you people in the media and for many sections of the pliant media, certainly not you. There are bits thrown like that famous letter. A impression is given, I mean, nobody in the right mind would support an assassination plot for the Prime Minister of India or breaking up this nation. But that letter so selectively leaked to the media is not even filed in court.
Right.
As far as I know, there is some possible separate investigation going on. It's not even part of this FIR.
So,
but all of you are told as if our clients, the persons I appeared for, are out there gunning for the Prime Minister. I mean, there has to be some sense of balance.
Right. Now, of course, you know, what the reaction in contradiction to what you are saying is to essentially people are saying, let the process of law, you know, work itself out, what the courts will eventually decide. Why should you not subject yourself to the process of law? If you're innocent, the courts will hold you. So that at least is the counterpoint to what you're saying, which we've been hearing for the last
few days. This is a larger issue, Vikram. This is a delightfully vague phrase, let the process of law play itself out. When you know that the process of law is at one level, especially at the lowest level, at the police level, being misused, when you know that these are actions being taken just because I have a philosophy different from yours, kindly consider, Vikram, if there is an assassination plot for the Prime Minister, would you have the Pune police dealing with it? Or would you have the entire gamut of NIA, CBI and the country's top agencies looking into it? So you give a dog a bad name and hang him. This is not the right approach. We are raising a much larger issue. 3 questions we are raising. Individually, yes, they can go and get bail, they may not get bail, etc., etc. One issue is, please show the record how was the mind formed about arrest at all after 9 months. How and why did you form a opinion which is required in law? Secondly, where is this connection with this completely prejudicial, bugbear, rhetorical letter which is sometimes brought in, sometimes, you know, it's like shown to you and then hidden. It is shown to some channel and then hidden. It's not part of the FIR, not part of the documents in this particular FIR. Now, these are valid questions.
All right, Dr. Singhvi, thank you so much for joining us. Let me just get everyone else's reaction. And Dr. Vachi, why don't I start off with you? One of the issues that comes up in this, and we should also assess this from the point of view of You're a law, you've done law, so you understand
I'm a practicing lawyer.
Yeah, I mean, that's what I'm saying. You've done law, you're practicing lawyer, so you know how the law works. One of the issues which comes up in all of this, and this is, right now you may say, okay, it's great, these are Naxals, these are communists, we should do whatever it can. Tomorrow the same thing can be used against the RSS, for example, as was done during the emergency. It could be done elsewhere. The problem in India is that the rule, when you say that let the rule of law operate, sometimes so much time is taken, so much, you can spend, especially if you're if you're a poor person, an Adivasi, in this case, there's some media has shown attention, there are high profile, petitioners out there trying to argue for them. That process of law and proving yourself innocent can take too much time. The process becomes the punishment.
Exactly.
Would you agree with that, by the way?
No, I agree with that, but I would like to add one more point. And I would like to add an important qualifier. In this case, this is not, these people do not belong to a class for which the process is the punishment at all. These people have a battery of lawyers to defend them, including the likes of Dr. Singhvi.
Stop. Why does that affect something? You could be the richest person with the best lawyers. If you are arrested and dragged off into prison, or even put under house arrest, let me answer this. Let me answer this. What are you going to say? That only a poor person?
There are many people in India who cannot even afford bail, but if you are rich, you get bail. Just like that, there are many people, if you can afford a good lawyer, then you can make sure that the process is not a punishment for you. Maybe not as much as it is for a poor person. These people have the greatest battery of lawyers, including a doyen of a profession, that is Dr. Singhvi, defending them. So why are they scared of letting the law take its own course? If it's a poor person or an Adivasi or a tribal, he should be scared or she should be scared.
Wait, hang on.
Let me add one last point. I'll add one last point. You mentioned about RSS workers. RSS workers even now, they are fit for slaughter in many states in the country. So, even the process of law doesn't apply to them. They are slaughtered just like that.
Okay.
You see, the entire binary that is being created is very deliberate. What Arundhati Roy also spoke.
She didn't know the difference between an aircraft and an aircraft carrier.
No. That is a separate matter. We are not discussing aircraft here. For
example,
let's not get into Rafale right now. It will take us another 1 hour. I promise you, next week I'll call you back. We'll discuss Rafale.
We have. You feel that
let somebody else speak. Everyone will speak one at a time.
We have the new Wright brothers, no? Yeah. Mr. Modi and Mr. Ambani, they are the new Wright brothers. They are the ones who are going to design the new aircraft. They are the new Wright brothers that we have.
I beg you. You're not speaking until he finishes speaking.
Yeah, Vikram. So what I'm trying to, you see, the binary that is being created, it's very clear. The BJP knows they are badly affected. They have lost a couple of elections. Now the only way to divert the attention is to focus on you and us. So anything that, for example, what is happening with Sanatan Sanstha? Sanatan Sanstha is there. All of a sudden, you find after 9 months, a Bhima Koregaon FIR is there, where the people are not even being. I know some of them very personally. For example, Gautam Navlakha. I know him very personally. He has been termed as an urban Naxalite. And for heaven's sake, tell me if the same Prime Minister who said, once I will come to power.
Let somebody else speak.
The Prime Minister said, when I will come to power,
you're looking like a cricket umpire right now. And India,
the Prime Minister said, when I come to power, wait, 4 years he's in power, 4.5 years, I will finish all the terrorists. Now he's saying, I'm scared of urban Naxalites. What is this that is happening? What is it that we are witnessing? So the point is, if someone is involved, the Pune police is entering the house.
This is not. So look, this is still the road to 2019. So I think the reason
the Pune police is entering the house, and telling what to read. Earlier they used to say what to wear. Earlier they used to say what you are cooking in your kitchen. Now they are saying what to read. If you're reading,
so let me
you are a Brahmin. Why did you marry a Dalit? Vikram, what is this that is happening?
No, actually they did.
Actually, it happened. Oh, come on, it happened. It happened, Raghav. No, it happened. Come on.
One sec.
This shows the mental.
Raghav, one second.
This shows the
mental. There should
build.
be in a democracy, by the way. You should not. You should be free to read Mao, you should be free to read Lenin, free to read Marx, free to read Govalkar, free to read Savarkar. By the way, I have books by all of those people in my house.
Your small bunch of thoughts. All that I am saying, Vikram, all that I am saying is there is an important qualifier. In a democracy, the state has to monopolize the use of violence. Wait, let me complete. The state has to monopolize the role of violence. Here there are people, and Tekendra is batting for them, who feel that the state should not monopolize violence and the tribal should inflict violence.
Wait. Raghav, one second.
He's being a Maoist.
Pradeep, I'm going to take it forward.
Are these Naxals? Who is a Maoist?
Pradeep, here, one second.
He's a Maoist. He admitted
He's right.
that yesterday.
One second. He's right.
I mean, I can
He's right that the state should monopolize. Okay, Raghav, one second. Let me just get out this in now. He's right that the state that nobody can advocate violence, right? So if somebody is sitting and if somebody says violence, let's go out, take a gun, let's shoot somebody, let's assassinate obviously assassinate the prime minister. Any of that is wrong. But
Tekendra, you spoke on your turn.
No, just a qualifier. The violence, I mean, for Ram Navami, then you cannot bring the swords out.
Why do you hate Hindus so much? Why do you hate Hindus? Why do you hate Hindus?
He's talking about Ram Navami.
We are digressing. He'll take me to a labor camp. He'll take me to a labor camp in a village somewhere. He'll make sure
Can I please put a mute? Yes. Before Pradeep gets out of his chair, pause button please on Raghav and Tekendra.
Let me complete my point.
You will never complete.
Tekendra later.
It's not the point.
You spoke on traffic policeman right now.
I did not interrupt.
I was not interrupting you.
No, but let me speak. Let me finish the point.
Okay.
Let me finish the point.
Can I let him finish what he's saying, then I'll come back to you, then Niranjan, then Sandeep. I'm traffic policeman. Everyone has 30 seconds. You next.
See, try to understand this point. The merits of the case does not depend on which investigating agency is investigating it. The merits of the case does not depend that you are an extremely big intellectual, engineer, doctor, etc. If there is sufficient evidence, the police has, as per the CRPC and IPC, can definitely investigate it. It's a sub judice matter. I do not want to comment more. Let me tell you the trajectory in the history behind in 2007-8. Also, these people have been detained, arrested in cases related to separatists and all. I don't want to get into more into a sub judice matter. I want to talk about the effect of left as an electoral force, which is also very important fact. They got 4.6 or roughly 3.5 to 4% votes, which was historically the lowest in 2014. That too largely from 3 states, West Bengal, Tripura and some of it in Kerala. Now, today, even in Tripura, BJP has become a major, I'm talking a different point here.
But don't forget,
BJP has become a major force. In Bengal, the principle of the party has changed. So what I'm trying to say till that, see, he made a point that Durga Puja, taking arms, that is equal to violence. That is the principal problem.
Stop. I heard you.
That is why the politics of
Raghav,
and that is why
please hold your peace for a minute. Niranjan,
what you are speaking, it's not
Durga Puja. Tekendra, 1 second.
He should know the difference between Durga Puja and Ram Navami.
Come on, even in a Ram Navami, are you telling that people take action?
You should know the
I know that, but come on, you detest principle of left is their politics of detesting religion. Do you agree or not?
No, he hates Hinduism. He hates Hinduism. He doesn't hate India.
We are all digressing.
He hates
I don't know how to.
He's a Maoist.
Short am I going around reducing people's mics? Niranjan, hang on. There's a problem out here.
He only has a problem in this country.
Can I get everyone's mics down? Can I get everyone's mics down? Can I get everyone's mics down? Okay.
I mean, you're saying I'm a Maoist,
but yes, you admitted that
you are a ludicrous anti-human. That's all I can say.
You said that
a ludicrous anti-human who
he
doesn't
said
even know.
Maoist
Raghav and
Come on,
Tekendra, pause.
He said that yesterday.
Please pause.
Can I have my chance, please?
Please pause.
Can
Let
I have my
Niranjan
chance,
speak, please,
please?
for a minute. Okay, now listen.
No, but then
nobody else speaks. Nobody else
You are a traffic police in a city where people don't follow traffic rules.
Sir,
Yeah, I'm
you
noticing
detest
that.
religion, principally the politics of
Pradeep,
left.
can
It's not a
you
question of me
please-
detesting. It's a question of state.
Can I walk around switching off people's
You
mics?
should know the Constitution. No, you should know the Constitution.
Yes,
but what is the Constitution?
And it is part of the
It is not me. It is the Constitution.
Yes,
You and I are
allowed.
Come on.
Have you read
What is the
You
Constitution?
can't ban Durga Puja and
Have you
Ram
read
Navami
Article
celebrations.
20?
What is the
You can't ban
Listen to
Durga
me.
Puja and
Let's have a
Ram
conversation about the
Constitution
How have we got to Durga Puja and
How
Ram
is it
Navami?
related to what we are talking about?
Please, can we move on?
He said that this is what the problem is.
What is
Now,
it that
Niranjan,
is
hang on. I have another issue.
It is the
I have another-
Constitution.
One thing, I have another issue.
Let
I
us
have
vote
another
on the
issue. Tekendra, one second.
What you are trying to do?
It must be so easy on other channels because all you do is say, yeah, guys talk, I mean, shout at each other, I'll shut up.
No, no,
Okay,
the
look,
point is,
I'm happy to
who
shut up
guides-
and let everyone shout.
who guides
But
what
now
is right and what is
I'm
wrong?
pressing.
It is the Constitution, no?
Exactly,
Tekinder,
so the fundamental
pause.
rights of the Constitution does not allow people to practice, profess their religion they want.
Of course it
yes.
does.
Okay,
so
get it out of your
it's
system.
part of the tradition.
But not to carry
problem
swords in the
becomes-
Sir,
mosque.
it is not related to violence, it is a part of the tradition, sir.
It's not a part of tradition.
I mean, what is he
It's
saying?
a
You're
tradition.
teaching
He says it's a
I'm not
component
saying
of
Durga
my
Puja.
religion.
What are you
It's
saying?
not a tradition.
Yes,
I know
it
how
is.
traditions
What are you
develop.
saying,
Yes,
sir?
I
it
know
is.
how traditions
See, I
develop.
know that the
I know how
politics is
traditions
detesting
develop.
religion, you do not
and
understand.
Okay,
I
Sandeep,
know
I'll tell you what I'm
how
going to
traditions
do.
are
I'm going to come
communal.
to you,
I don't want to talk
Sandeep,
religion
so
with
everyone's
that. I know
mics here can
how-
be switched off. I'm switching off everyone's mics out here. Sandeep, I'm coming to you instead. Sandeep, there's an issue out here. The issue, Tekinder, no one's hearing you. No one's hearing you. No one's hearing any of you. The mics are down. Sandeep, I have a question to ask. And my basic question, Tekinder, can you please now, please? Okay. Sandeep, question I have to ask is this. You may like left ideology, you may not like left ideology. For the Pune police, anybody else to be saying, you can read Marx, you can read Lenin, you can read Mao. Is there something fundamentally wrong with that? And are we going to see a lot more of that in the run-up to 2019?
Okay, there are 2-3 points that I like to make. Police made a lot of other points as well, which I found more relevant than this point that what literature they have found. And also I can share some of the literature with you, that kind of provocative things that are published, not in the Marx book, but the Maoist literature are provocative, which everybody knows. These people are arrested under Unlawful Activities Prevention Act, UAPA, which was
find
bought
it
by
offensive.
Congress.
I would probably find a lot of it offensive. I find a lot of things offensive that I read. I guess the question has to be asked, and that's where the questions of when the Pune police is going in and saying, why do you have a book of Marx and Lenin's out here? This is not McCarthyism. This is not the United States. If you want to have books of Marx and Lenin in your house, you should be allowed to have it. Many people do.
No, that is what I said. We are just picking only one point from what all Pune police said. Pune police also said that they have found arms in some people, or they are about to buy arms. And that is what the point I was trying to make it. It was the Ashok Manu Singhvi had defended the law when it was made, and it's unfortunately today he is defending the accused in this case. What does the law says? Just 5 lines, bear me out. Section 43E, that the accused will be presumed to have committed an offence for which he has been arrested if arms or explosive have been found in his house along with evidence suggesting
where were
his
arms found in
involvement.
this case?
It was just one sec. And in 2012 it was amended saying that if a person was amended to an association of person or a body of individuals, the amendment ensures guilt by association. So these people have been found to be talking to terrorists. That is what the Pune police literature said, that one of them was in touch with the Kashmiri terrorists, the other was talking about buying the weapons. So as per the law made during the Congress-led UPA, they are accused.
Okay. Can I, one sec, so I agree if you find weapons in somebody's house, fine, that person should be hauled away. Is there weapons being found? And if somebody is talking to a terrorist and saying, I'm going to do something, that I'm plotting violence with a terrorist, I get that. Niranjan. I mean, actually, journalists talk to many people who are like Naxals, terrorists all the time.
I don't want to, I just want to very briefly, talk about some of the fairly illogical arguments that we have been actually, listening to in this show. One is that these people have a battery of very powerful lawyers, so that's what the reason as to why we really did not get incensed about the whole issue. The other is
I didn't say that. I didn't say that.
The other is that's what it is.
No, I didn't say that. I said that the process cannot be a punishment for somebody who has such good lawyers. So
Raghu, let me hear what he's saying now.
The point is that the communists have a very small electoral vote bank. That is why that viewpoint really need not be given much credence.
Niranjan, we're not being able to hear you very clearly. Your mic has actually failed with all of this stuff happening. So, okay, and maybe I'll translate. With all the amount of sound around you, your mic has failed, so you can't be heard. So essentially, if somebody's wondering what Niranjan has been saying for the last couple of minutes without being able to hear. Yeah, with mics these days only work if you're shouting into them, and right now, so essentially what he was, so okay, fine, we'll try and translate that.
Anyway, as a journalist, very quickly, as a journalist, there are 2 things that we look at. What is the timing? Why is it happening?
What is the timing? Why is it happening? Is essentially the question that Niranjan is asking.
13, and what is happening now?
Okay, we need to wrap on
Going
this point.
after left, what will
Obviously,
BJP
okay, we
get?
need to wrap at this point, but essentially, look, this is, at the end of the day, we will wait to see what the courts say. You cannot, in a democracy, be arresting people because they think in a certain way or read a certain book. it's allowed to people to do that, so long as they're not actually spreading violence or saying that somebody should be killed or doing any of that. So we'll have to say that the courts should come in and rule. This is a sub judice matter. We'll see what the courts made of the specific charges being made out of here. Are we going to see a lot of more of this on the road to 2019? Well, we'll have to track it and see. That's it for now. We'll be back next week, 9:30 p.m.